Hello, everybody. I'm Super Toad Productions, and this is.
Hi, I'm Mike.
You're the creator of Buckshot Roulette, and you also make other horror games. For the viewers who don't know you, let us know who you are.
My name's Mike. I make short form horror games that sort of try to like experiment with different mechanics that sort of haven't really been done before. And yeah, that's about it. I usually go for like industrial styles and sort of similar aesthetics just because I like designing all of the machines and sort of visuals and stuff myself since I actually started uh, like the main thing I did before I got into game development was hard surface modeling, so that's sort of like transferred over into game development where everything is like rigid and machinery and industrial and sort of grungy. So yeah.
So, what made you start game development? What inspired you?
So what inspired me was just an idea that I got for a game where you're like in a spaceship and there's these different machines scattered around, and then there would be like a storyline, like a super ambitious project that I guess is the usual sort of thing that gets people into game development. And I was really aware of the fact that I would probably like go on the ambitious project and just never end up finishing it because like over scope and also no real prior experience in like with programming specifically and like the engine. This was Unity during that time. But actually, I got working on it, and I never really stopped. I think I put uh, yeah, I spent like most of my free time developing the thing until it actually got finished, and then I guess I sort of realized that game dev wasn't really, it's just time consuming, not essentially that difficult. I guess what helped was just like previous experience and like 3D modeling. So yeah, I just got into it to make an idea, and it ended up working really well, and I just sort of kept going from there. Another thing is that I actually used to play a lot of like sandbox games growing up, like Gary's Mod was one of them. There's also a Minecraft, but more specifically, there was also Blockland, which I played the most because Blockland had this sort of eventing system where you could like code things into these bricks. It was basically like Lego, but online. And so I would make games inside of Blockland, and it would be super fun. And yeah, and once I got into actual like game engines, I sort of realized that it's pretty much just a sandbox game with more steps, and in the end, you just have like just a standalone executable with your name on it, and I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, what inspired you to make Buckshot Roulette?
So it was really just like a what if sort of question, like what if you do Russian roulette but with a shotgun, because it just felt like a really compelling idea. Because Russian roulette is cool, but it's a small pistol with a small caliber. So what if you like knock up the intensity even more with like a whole shotgun, and then it just felt pretty cool. Um, yeah, that was mainly it. Just like this, also this sort of aesthetic of like this game of shotgun roulette happening somewhere in this industrial building in a back room that sort of really, it was just something I really vibed with, so I decided to just go ahead and make it.
Yeah, like, I think a large part of why the game took off is because of the whole mysterious aspect. How you wake up in a bathroom and then walk into the hallway, see the mysterious dude leaning over the railing, and it's
Yeah,
you kick down the doors and it just feels so enticing yet so scary at the same time.
yeah. The the bathroom kicking part was really just to sort of like have the player be even more immersed in terms of like the sound design specifically, because I wanted to do the thing where like like you're in the club and then you're in the bathroom, and so the only thing you hear is actually the low frequencies. So once you go through the actual lobby part, which has like the entire thing blasting at you, and also like the strobe light, then once you go into the back room where you actually play the game of Shotgun Roulette, you all the high frequencies start to dim down again, and it's just like the low frequencies, and I think it just sort of makes it like, this is gonna sound super cheesy, but it makes you like feel that you're sort of in the back room, also like not just visually, but also like, how do you say it, like audibly as well. So
I
yeah,
actually, no, I 100% understand that. Like, no, I feel that now. Because it's like, you are in the bathroom, you kind of hear the music, you kick down the door, hear the loud sound of the kicking, and then it's just blaring at you. And then you go into the little room with the dealer, and then things
yeah,
go soft again.
yeah.
So, what's your opinion on the success of Buckshot Roulette? Like, how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about the success of Buckshot?
Yeah.
Um, it's something I'm pretty grateful for. I'm like super happy that people enjoy the game and that it has such a large following and community. It's not something that I expected, so it was like super surprising because this was like, it's pretty much like a university side project. Um, there were no plans for like the project to sort of blow up and then be like have like long-term updates, but that's just like, I guess it's just one of the things, like you don't really plan to make a hit, you just make like a cool idea. And so I'm very happy that like uh, it ended up doing well, and yeah, I think it's cool. It's something I'm very grateful for.
What was like going through your mind while you were designing like like the soundtrack, and did you expect that to be a large part of like how successful the game ended up being?
Do you mean the soundtrack?
Yes.
So the soundtrack, yeah, mainly for like the main menu theme. This was Blank Shell. This was actually a track that I made, I think, maybe like a year and a half before Buckshot. It was a bit different. It had some drums going on. It also had some different melodies, and I sort of took that old track because I really liked it. I just didn't find a place for it. I realized that it fit sort of the Buckshot aesthetic pretty well, which is like, it has like a melancholy vibe to it. So yeah, usually making the soundtrack, try to make it sort of as grungy and like melancholic as possible. Blank Shell is also like, it sounds pretty distorted, and in the start of the track, it's also like, it's out of tune, and then it gets in tune. For the 70K track, it was mainly just like, I just had this vision for like, you get the briefcase and then it like, there's a hard like cut and then it shows the car driving like on the highway. I was just like timing it so that like the cut happens when the bass comes in, because I thought it'd be neat. And the melody there is also melancholy. In terms of the techno tracks, that's mainly keeping in mind just the fact that like most of the tracks are going to be on like low pass filter, like throughout the majority of the game. So what was important there was just having like a four on the floor kick pretty much like most of the time, and also having really high frequencies that like make like that go through the low pass, which are just like hats pretty much. So it's just like usually just kick hat. Before every load came out nice because the snares are actually pretty audible with the low pass. So yeah, that's usually what I tried going for. Most of the inspiration for like Blank Shell specifically is from like Aphex Twin, because he makes these grungy tracks that are really like, they're like kind of weird, but they sound really nice. And yeah, Aphex Twin is I find really inspirational for like the music that I make.
Yeah, the music's a large part of the game. Like just such a good soundtrack. The theme that plays in the main theme, I think general release it's called, is like catchy. A lot of people like that's very memorable to them. So I think that was another part of the game's like success. What do you like? What do you think the future of Buckshot Roulette is after now that the Steam release is out? Is there plans for like a sequel or I don't know, maybe like something else that's not a game?
Um, I honestly doubt that there will be a sequel. It will just be like receiving content updates. Currently, the main plan for development is to flesh out the story and lore further, and also implement the multiplayer feature, which is I feel like would be pretty cool. Yeah, that's mainly the plan. Flesh out the story and also add multiplayer, which will be content updates throughout this year. Yeah.
So, how will the multiplayer work? Will it just be two players and work as the regular game does, or will it be up to like four players, or is it? Are
Yeah.
you guys like to haven't like gotten far enough to decide yet?
Um, well, yeah, I'm developing the multiplayer myself. Currently, we're going for like 2 to 4 players. That's the plan. Um, my initial thought was like having it 2 players, but like at the same time, if you're gonna do 2 players, you might as well just make it work for 4. There are some caveats though, like if you have 4 players, obviously the shell sequence has to be longer, and also there are with the current items, there is going to be a lot of stuff that needs to be like properly balanced for multiplayer game, because like the last thing that I want Buckshot Roulette multiplayer to be is like a game that like isn't engaging and isn't like strategy. Obviously, like, part of it is luck, and it always will be. But yeah, I think the balance is like the main part. Honestly, um, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah.
Will it be just online, or will there be split screen for the console versions?
Currently, I'm going for online, but I would sort of prefer if it's also like, yeah, like if you didn't have to be online, like if you were just with a bunch of friends and you got a computer, then you can just boot it up and like go for it and not like rely on a Surface or anything similar. So yeah, hopefully local like multiplayer will be something that will also be like an option.
Um, will it be cross platform for consoles and the Steam version?
It's hard to say since the online aspect of the multiplayer does rely currently on like the Steam implementation. So since consoles, I'm not sure how cross-platform networking works, so it's hard for me to say. Currently, I believe there aren't any plans for cross-platform, but it might be an option in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, because with I don't know how it works for other consoles, but at least with Nintendo, if you are a developer with them, you can you can use their servers, but whoever's playing the game has to have the Switch Online subscription, and
Right.
they wouldn't let you do cross platform unless it was like your own servers. So, yeah, it would be very hard to implement.
Yeah,
What's your
I imagine it will be a headache. Like, I will see.
What's your opinion on all the Buckshot Roulette like knockoffs on like mobile, and even there's a few on Steam?
Yeah, so like there's a main difference between like games like Buckshot Roulette. Personally, if someone goes out there and makes like a tabletop horror game inspired by Buckshot, and then that's like super cool. But if you just decompile the game and put it like on a browser like buckshotroulette.com, that just makes me pissed off. I think that's like, yeah, I think that's really disrespectful and kind of like not cool at all. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about like the knockoffs.
I'd have to agree with you on that. Like if somebody's making a game that's like a fan game and it uses like their like they put some originality into it, I think it's cool then. But
Oh yeah,
if you're just like pretty much remaking the game on like web browsers or like Roblox or something, then that's like not okay.
yeah. There's like a very concrete line between like sorry, I had to cough. There's like a solid line between like a fan game and then just full on like IP infringement, which is like just yeah. In that sense, yeah, like knockoffs not really that cool.
So like how do you feel that like Buckshot Roulette's soundtrack is getting pressed on vinyl and tape by Turtle Pals tapes? Like
Oh,
how did that start?
oh yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's super cool. Um, yeah, I think it was shortly after release, like a few weeks, and then Turtle Palace Tapes reached out to me. They were like, "You want to put it on physical release?" And yeah, we talked a bit, and we decided to do it. I'm very like, I was super excited about like collaborating with them because I like when I was making the game and the music, I never imagined them to be actually like pressed on physical form. And also, like personally, uh, I value like physical media a lot. Like, just like everything's digital nowadays. You like go online and then you download the stuff and it's like on your screen or whatever in your like hard drive. But I think there's something cool about having um, physical media. So I think I'm very happy that like Little Palace Tapes decided to do it because having the soundtrack on vinyl is super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the Buckshot Roulette getting a physical copy of the game would be really cool, but I don't really know if that will happen just because how short the game is. But I think possibly a bundle with a few other games and making a physical version would be pretty cool.
I think a physical version would actually be like super feasible. It would just probably have to be like less of a commercial thing like regulated by Peggy and more of this like homebrew stuff, like just making like a couple of hundred copies and like selling them at like a limited edition only type of deal.
Yeah,
Because that's
or
something I actually did with the Unsorted Horror. Is I made like a limited set. It was like a physical edition of all the games, all 5 games, and then I like shipped it out to the person who like won the giveaway. Um, so yeah, you can just make the physical release yourself, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah, like just like burning it on like a CD or
Yeah, it's
DVD.
some random CD.
Yeah, there's companies that manufacture DVDs or CDs like um on like I don't know how to describe it. They're called Kanaki. I'm not sure if they would do file like just like files for a game, but they do like music and stuff. And Turtle
Yeah,
Pals used to use them before they used another CD manufacturer.
interesting. Yeah, there are actually CD printers though. Like, there's certain brands CDs that you can put in printers and print on them. So that might also work.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Or you could like partner up with like limited run games or something like that that does
Yeah, or
physical games.
super rare games. They do that stuff.
Yeah, there's another one I don't remember what they're called, but their mascots like a tiger or something.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
And they did super retro platformer collection, which had four N64 style indie platformers.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Um, so like, what would you say, or like, what are you gonna do after Buckshot Roulette? Like, are you gonna just make like unique stuff in the future, or are you gonna take a break from game development? Like, what's the plan?
After Buckshot, I'll probably just keep doing what I usually do, which is just design some weird stuff and develop them. Um, it really depends. Like, yeah, that's one thing that's clear is that I'm gonna like keep making the stuff because it's fun. And but one thing I'm not sure about is like the scale of the next game because I've been making short games for like 3 years by now, and it's like part of me wants to develop something that is a bit of a bigger project in terms of like runtime. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But at the same time, short form horror is super dope, and yeah, because what I was working on before Buckshot Roulette was like this sort of anthology game that was this sort of that had like a bunch of short games, but in this like seamless type of experience. Maybe I'll go ahead and just do that. I'm not sure. Time will tell.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see what you do next because Buckshot Roulette's already a masterpiece. So I'm really hyped
Thank
to
you.
see what
I appreciate it.
comes next because like it's such a unique concept with it, one of my favorite art styles in gaming, period. Like I just love it. Like it reminds me a lot of the I believe the dithering effect on the Sega Saturn.
Mm.
That, like with like all the little dots on the colors, and it just looks amazing. I love it.
Well, thank you.
Like I am so excited to see what you do next, and I'm definitely going to be checking out some of your other stuff because I checked out, I believe it's called Unsorted Horror.
Yeah, Unsorted Horror is on Steam. It's I think it's for free right now.
And I need to definitely play that a lot more, and I'm probably going to try Unsorted VHS as well because that one looks really cool.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the games.
So I think that'll be it for the interview. Is there anything you'd like to say to the audience?
Um, well, I guess thank you all for playing the games as well as Buckshot Roulette and Unsorted Horror. And I guess stay tuned for what's in store in the future. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.